sometimes there are tendencies of students just to pass the course, or they want to get A for the course, for any of the course they have. But it's also a responsibility for us, an educator, to, you know, create the, help them to realize the full potential of their effective learning. We have to also, be aware of that. Okay, so in this course, we try and we hope that our students can feel a sense of realization of their roles, not only for the environment, but also the community and people who are working with them. Right? So these are the main approaches that we use for this course. We have interactive lecture, not to say that we don't have lecture at all. We have interactive lecture, meaning to say that we have lecture for 20 minutes, followed by discussion, and then we ask the student to play some games and create learning materials for themselves, share their materials with their peers and so on, right? So interactive lecture, where we introduce important concept and theories in physical classroom, and after that, online classroom. Group discussion, knowledge creation, knowledge curation. Okay, as I mentioned just now, I allow students to Google. I allow them to go to the internet and use the tools, the presentation tools that they have from the internet, combine videos, select information to be presented and so on. So these are the things that they learn during group discussion and knowledge curation. And then we have case study analysis. Case study analysis is the thing that we do to replace the mid-semester exam. So these students, they have a case study analysis, which is an individual assessment, open book online assessment. So we gave them 24 hours to finish the case study analysis. And of course, before that, we gave them some samples and some time to learn on how to do case study analysis first, right? And then we have e-SULAM, because we cannot have the face-to-face SULAM. We have e-SULAM. E-SULAM means we conduct the service learning project online. This is a group project, okay? And then we have reflection. Reflection is a part of the assessment. A deep structured reflection 3 times before conducting the SULAM project, during the implementation of the SULAM project, and after the e-SULAM project has been completed. So this is briefly the implementation of our teaching learning approach. First, we have at the beginning of the semester, we have course briefing, and then we have interactive lecture and group discussion and presentation. So we finish everything first, all the course content, all the learning units, before the students start doing their proposal for SULAM project, because they need the information and the knowledge from the course content in order for them to understand the things that they need to do for the SULAM project. Okay. After we finish all the interactive lectures and group discussion and presentation, we conduct the SULAM proposal writing session. Okay, during SULAM proposal writing, they not only write, but they also present in the classroom. But the presentation for the proposal is not counted as part of the assessment. The written proposal is counted as the assessment. Assessment here is which we give the marks. Okay, but the proposal presentation is what we do in the classroom as the teaching learning activities, right? And after they finish writing their proposal, they have the reflection one, which is before implementing their SULAM project. And then sometime before implementation of the SULAM project, we do case study analysis. We give the students questions, open book. They can discuss. They can, you know, oh, they cannot discuss. Sorry, I forgot. They can look for the information on the internet, and then at the end of the submission, they must make sure that their submission is an original submission. Um, of course, we have to do the Turnitin check to ensure that students are writing original answers, right? And then e-SULAM project implementation, followed by reflection 2, and then e-SULAM project reporting, and then reflection 3. So how do we get our students to be engaged in this learning process? So these are the activities that I mentioned just now. For activity 1, peer learning through group discussion, curation of knowledge and presentation. We gave the students specific topic for technical knowledge sharing. For example, if today we are learning about hazardous waste, hazardous chemicals, and so on. So that would be the specific topic for them to discuss, and they collaborate with their peers in searching, discussion, and presentation in physical classroom, and they choose their design. They design their own online tools for curating knowledge and create presentation slides and videos. And then we as an instructor encourage them to explore interactive presentation tools online, so that throughout this process they not only learn the content of the course but also they learn something else, okay, digital skills. And then instructor provide feedbacks on the facts presented. Of course, when we ask students to curate knowledge, when we ask students to look for information on the internet, when they presented their facts, their material, we as the instructor should give appropriate and immediate feedback to their presentation, especially on the facts that they are presenting. And then share real examples of whatever topic that we are dealing with that day. For example, water treatment processes. All right. So these are some of the examples of record that we have on our eLib. So we have peer learning, as I have explained just now. So we have the students sharing their information, sharing the knowledge that they have curated just now online. Okay, but I don't have the photos for somehow I misplaced the photos that we have for class presentation. Actually, it's fun to watch the students present the knowledge that they have, because sometimes we think the student must learn from us. The information is all around us, right? They don't necessarily have to be in our class to learn. We have to create the environment whereby they can have independent learning but yet impactful learning. All right. So these are activity. The next activities: SULAM project proposal, presentation, and need analysis. So our students, they they were able to meet the community partner for need analysis and initial meeting. However, unfortunately, when COVID-19 hits, we cannot continue with this project. But we hope to continue it this time when we are more, ready to face the e-SULAM challenge. Okay, so instructor, community, and peers provide feedback for the students. So they not only learn from the instructor, but also from their peers and also the community. Activity 3, e-SULAM implementation. So our initial plan was changed to e-SULAM, and students are required to discuss in group the e-SULAM project plan and present it to course instructor. So from this challenge, we take opportunity to, to get our students to learn backup plan on how they will conduct their project even though something happened. All right. So because COVID-19 is something that everyone face, something that is out of the students' control, out of the instructor's control. So we let the students discuss what are the next plan for them to reach the goal that they want. The goal is they need to conduct an e-SULAM. So what is their plan? So we let them to discuss, and they present it to the course instructor, and we give feedback because for SULAM, for service learning implementation, there are some aspects or some criteria that must be fulfilled. So the students need to pitch their ideas to us first, and we'll see whether it is in sync with the criteria set for SULAM courses. All right, we give feedback and some questions to initiate thinking on how they can be more creative on their project, right? And these are another activity, e-SULAM implementation. We let them initiate their own virtual group meetings, but of course, they need to record their meetings, they need to minute their meetings. We let them have specific timeline for the project. We don't dictate them when to do this and when to do that. We just mentioned that the campaign for e-SULAM is from the 1st of July until the 30th of July. So it's up to you, up to your group to manage your timeline, to set your timeline, and to, delegate task to all the group members. Okay. They decide their own target community. They decide their own online platform for conducting the project. They design their own virtual campaign. We have no say about this, but of course we have to monitor, because we still, have to look at the, just now criteria of SULAM courses and whether our student is, adhering to UNIMAS rules and so on. Okay. So they design their own campaign, they make their own copywriting, and I'm impressed. I was impressed with them. They have a good level of, copywriting skills, and they promote the activities to engage communities. They really know how to use Instagram, they use websites, social media to promote their program. They also conduct analysis on community perception on specific issues and community feedbacks. So this is not only conducting a community engagement project, but also use the community engagement project to learn the academic aspect of this, academic aspect of this course, right? So these are some examples of the e-SULAM projects. Some of them are dealing with online community, public online community in social media such as Facebook, Instagram, and some of them use websites. And another group of students also, some 2 or 3 group of students, they deal with a real community partner. For example, small medium industry, canteen operators, and so on, right? So these are the things that they did for their SULAM project. So these are some records on the meeting. Sometimes they invite me into the meetings, but most of the time I tell them it's enough if I come once. The rest of the meetings, you just independently conduct without me, but remember to minute your meeting, all right? And then this is for case study analysis. Students were given case study to work individually in a limited duration, for example, 24 hours. In our case, 24 hours in an online open book assessment. All right. online environment is a challenging environment for every one of us. So we think open book assessment is a right thing to do, and at the right moment. This is also to train our students that they can have as much information that they can get from the internet, but it's important how they curate the information, how they filter the information, how they filter the knowledge, how they use and apply the knowledge to solve a specific problem. So this is an important skills they will use sooner or later. All right. Right. So this is a snapshot from the ELIP for the case study just now. So this is one of the most important activities, I think, which is done for immersive learning. Whenever you have immersive learning experience, when you want to apply immersive learning experience in your course, I think these are one of the things that I would suggest to you to include, which is reflection. Reflection should be a deep reflection, a critical reflection. It's not a reflection whereby you let the student write whatever they want to write. If you do that, you might not be able to get the answers that you want, the answers to the things that you questions in your mind. So the basic of reflection that we do in this course, that we did in this course, is we ask students specific questions so that they can answer the things that we want to know about their learning. We want to investigate about their learning. And then we try to ask questions, how they relate their engagement, community engagement, how they relate their projects, SULAM project, to the theories that they learn at the early parts or the early weeks of the semester. So this is the importance of reflection. We have to guide the students by giving questions, by giving the right questions, so that we know whether students really learn or they are just a passenger in the group and others, all right? Other important things that you want to know. So sometimes we do reflection also to let the student reflect on their own learning, what they have learned and what they have learned, but they don't realize it before we ask them that particular questions. All right. We'll see some of the samples of the reflection later on. This is a snapshot from our ELIP. All right. So how do you feel at the beginning of your SULAM project planning? At first, actually, I have no idea. This is some of the feedback from students. At first, actually, I have no idea about the SULAM project planning. But after discussing with group members, the picture starts to appear in my mind. Therefore, I know what exactly we need to do in this project. We propose to organize station games relate to the topic to raise their awareness. I feel excited and can't wait to discuss more details with my members. All right, this is on the right-hand side is the reflection during conducting the project, reflection 2. All right, this is some of feedback from the students. While doing the project, I realized that the community partners were initially not well aware of the negative effects of the single use of plastic. That based on the comments on the campaign video, most of the community partners stated that they just realized the importance of avoiding the usage of single-use plastic and its harmful effect to sea life. So this is what the students find out. Okay. All right. This is how we try to provide a meaningful learning experience to our students by giving them ownership of the on-learning process. Of course, we have things to fulfill the CLO achievement, the criteria of SULAM, and other KPIs that relate to us. But what matters most is how these KPIs can help our students to own their learning. Okay, ownership of their own learning process, and us giving the students continuous immediate feedback and we have balanced proportion of individual and group activities, because too much of anything, you know, is sometimes not good for the students and for us. Okay, so we have to have a balanced proportion of individual and group activities and the range of activities. Okay, not only one specific type of activities, but different type of activities which cater different types of learners. We know there are different types of learners, VARK, all right? So we try to vary the activities so that more students can be involved in the learning process. So reflection activities to encourage deep learning. So this is the impacts on our students' learning. Measured. These are the things that we can measure, but there are many more things that we cannot measure. Okay, as Einstein formally said that not everything that counts are countable, and not everything countable counts. Right. So these are the things that we can count. But I strongly believe, beyond this, students learn and realize more than, you know, they have realized on their roles, the power of the course that they are taking, the power of themselves in changing the community, and so on. All right. So these are the things that we can measure. The activities designed for this course helps students to relate theories learned. Okay, so you see, if you see here in our latest semester 2, 2019-2020, we can see that the increase in CLO1, CLO2, increase in CLO3 compared to the previous semester. Okay, and then previous semester here means 2018-2019, and then CLO4 increase, all achieved, and we don't have failure for this course. Okay, so this is how this course has enabled students to learn important work skill. For example, through discussion and presentation, we are actually you know, letting them learn interpersonal skills, communication skills, lifelong learning skills, and content creating skills. And content creating is one of the most skills for future jobs, right? And from case study analysis, we actually allows them to learn lifelong learning, critical thinking and problem solving. From reflection, they learn critical thinking, personal skill. Personal skills means what's inside them. They learn to reflect on their own actions, on their own learning. Okay, and then from e-SULAM project, they learn skills like interpersonal skill, communication, lifelong learning, critical thinking, problem solving, digital skills, because this is an e-SULAM project, online SULAM project. They learn so many digital skills and content creating skills. So this is how we think we increased students' attitude towards learning and social skills. We cannot actually measure this, but we can see students' feedback from their reflections and also the course evaluation form. Right? Some says that effective way of teaching, bring me some good in life. I really enjoy all learning process held by my lecturer. Despite the pandemic going on, we managed to still have classes online and have all students participated in lectures. Thank you. Gives a lot of attention regarding students' work. This is what I mentioned just now. By giving continuous immediate feedback to the students. I enjoyed this course. I really enjoyed this course. Lecturer always responds towards our DM effortlessly. Lecturer is very active during class, good way of teaching. So these are some feedbacks of from the students. And last but not least, these are some of the key takeaways and summary of my sharing session just now. Blended learning combines face-to-face and online learning. So in most situations, face-to-face learning serves as the main driver of the blended learning. If you remember just now, at the early part of the presentation of the sharing, I show you two circles overlapping on each other, all right, on the blended learning. So normally, the face-to-face learning is as the main driver, but COVID-19 has changed the learning landscape, and it's time for educators to unlearn and relearn blended learning. Maybe this time, online learning as the main driver, because we are now, you know, at least for this semester, we still have to conduct our courses fully online for most of the courses in UNIMAS. All right. So this time, maybe online learning as the main driver, and maybe this time we don't see face-to-face interaction as a physical one classroom interaction anymore, but we see it in an online setting, synchronous online setting. So that could be our new norm for face-to-face learning. All right. And then another key takeaways is blended learning requires a proper course design to ensure immersive learning experience. And it's good to go through the previous semester CLO achievement report and look at the areas for improvement. And from there, we can create a new approach for our students' immersive learning. And believe me, behind every challenge is an opportunity. And in this course, we take COVID-19 as an opportunity for both parties to learn. The educators, the instructor, to learn how to maneuver online learning, online service learning projects. This is very unfamiliar to us, but it's doable. It's totally doable. And for the students, this is an opportunity for them to really learn what matters for the future. If COVID-19 hasn't happened, I think our students really much depends on the, physical classroom, waiting for us to giving them information about the courses and so on. But this time they are on their own. They are the main driver of their learning. So after this is a game changer for learning, I think. All right. So that's about it. That's my sharing. I mungkin janji I plan to talk only for 30 minutes, but somehow I talk for I think 50 minutes, 45 minutes. Sorry, Dr. Mazlina. I get
No
carried away.
problem.
And thank you very
Dr.
much
Rafeah.
everyone for bearing with me and listening to my sharing. Thank you so much. Open
Thank
for
you.
question and answer session.
Thank you, Dr. Rafeah, for insightful and informative sharing. So now I open to the floor for the questions to Dr. Rafeah. You just need to unmute your microphone, or you can type your question in the chat room. Okay, Dr. Rafeah, so far there is no question, but I have a question for you. Okay, your approach, it looks so interesting, Dr. Rafeah. So because nowadays, because we are facing with COVID-19, so we understand that we cannot go out for doing SULAM activities. So when you mentioned about e-SULAM, so I have few questions actually, because I so interested with the SULAM approaches. So that's why I listed a few questions about SULAM. So first thing, what is your students' response when they have to do e-SULAM? So what is their response? So that is the first question. And the second question, how you implement e-SULAM. It might be you can explain a little bit of the implementation or application of the e-SULAM, so that other lecturers who have to do SULAM or e-SULAM, they have some ideas, so so that they can they know how to implement the e-SULAM. And then the third one, sorry, the third one, how you evaluate, because I understand that in SULAM approaches, there is the component that the community have to evaluate the students' work, right, Dr. Rafeah, if I'm not mistaken. So when you are doing the e-SULAM, so how you do it about the evaluation from the community? And the last questions, since you are doing the e-SULAM, so your student, are they only doing the, are they only plan the proposal, or they have to deliver their idea to the community? So means, are they need to implement it in terms of online to the community? Means they have, do they have to deliver whatever their plan to the community? So that's all. They have four questions for you, Dr. Rafeah.
Thank you, Dr. Mazina. There's a bunch of questions, but before I
Yes.
answer this question briefly, just briefly, I would like to promote a webinar or a workshop that I will be conducting next week on the 15th of March. It's organized by PPPA. It's specifically talking about e-SULAM. We're going to spend 3 hours talking about e-SULAM implementation, e-SULAM, criteria and success story, not only from me, but also from Faculty of Computer Science, FSKTM. All right, so stay tuned to that webinar workshop. And for Dr. Mazlina's questions just now, how did the student respond when we initially have to change from face-to-face SULAM to e-SULAM? Of course, this is something, instinctively, everyone would be, very frustrated because some of the things for the SULAM project has been implemented, like pitching the ideas to the community, having the need analysis with the community. Some students instinctively feel frustrated. And another thing is that they cannot go back to the campus. That is, I think, not only happening to our students, but also all of us. We were in that situation together. But we try to, let the students know the opportunity behind, converting the SULAM project to the online SULAM project. So that's how we try to, pujuk lah. We try to persuade the students. We are in group WhatsApp, and sometimes I let them share about the feelings and so on regarding the online classes. I don't mind, because that is what they are facing. We have to, help them to get through this challenge together. And question number 2 on how we implemented e-SULAM. Short answer, we implemented e-SULAM through 2 approaches. Some groups, they go straight away to one specific community, but they communicate online. They do online meetings. They deliver their ebook or their guidebook online. And then at one point, when we are allowed to meet each other, but with a strict SOP, they actually meet the the specific community partner, but following strict SOP, just to have face-to-face communication with them and do some of the things that they cannot do online together. And another approach is some groups, they do public online community projects. Public, when I mention about public online community project, is that they engage anybody online. For example, they go to Facebook, so they engage with Facebook community through Facebook page. But I don't think any of my students do Facebook. My students did Instagram and websites. So when they have websites, they promote their websites through other social medias, and they get feedbacks from activities. They actually conduct activities such as quiz, they conduct competition, and so on. We actually give some presents to the winners and so on. to engage the online community. And number 3, how did the community evaluate our students' work? Because and one of the criteria of SULAM is that the community have to evaluate our students. So for community feedback for the group that were doing SULAM with a specific community, that's easy. They just pass the evaluation form to the specific community representative, and they will fill it in and return it to our students. But for our students who are doing with public online community, they have to really, take testimony from the online communities. And sometimes they ask questions. They have a post asking questions for community feedbacks. So there will be community giving feedbacks in the comments and so on. That are their ways to collect community feedbacks. And from competition, from activities that they organize together with the community, they also collect information, collect data on community awareness and convert it into, tables and figures and statistics. So that's how our student works for the community evaluation. And question number 4, did they only have to pitch the proposal to the community? Yes, they have to pitch the proposal to the community, and they have to deliver what they promised to the community. That's my short answer. But for more elaboration, for more sharing of the practices, inshallah, I will not be sharing the same thing that I shared today. For 15 March, that's more detail on e-SULAM implementation. Please attend the webinar if you would like to know more about e-SULAM. Thank you, Dr. Mazlina.
Yeah, there are 2 questions from participants, Dr. Rafeah.
Oh, okay.
From Dr. Rashida, it becomes challenges nowadays where currently millennial students indifferent from us as students before. How do you cater this kind of students who have some problem in certain area, personal or technical problems? Okay, that is the question, Dr. Rafeah.
What I understand from this question is that how to deal with students who have some problems in certain area, personal or technical problems.
Yes, personal or technical problems, yes.
For digital learning, is it? I take it as digital learning.
Yes.
I will take it as digital learning. So actually they are better than us in terms of technology savviness. But the good thing about educators or instructor is that we are so used to learn, unlearn and relearn. We learn all the time. We learn all through our life. So we can be as competitive as them. But to students who have technical problems such as internet connectivity, personal problems and so on, please be considerate to our students and give an alternative, a feasible alternative that works not only to achieve the students' learning outcome, but also to enable students to learn comfortably. It's not that we want to pamper our students, but we can be considerate and reasonable, in our class.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rafeah. So the last question from Prof. Zainab. Can you suggest how SULAM can be applied to fundamental courses?
Dr. Zainab, Prof. Zainab, hi. I will ask this question during lunch later, Prof. Zainab. Can I?
Okay, nasi ayam for you.
All right. Actually, SULAM course for fundamental courses. Normally, fundamental courses is taught in the first semester and first year, second semester. But we encourage SULAM courses to be second year and above courses. The best is if students can take it year 2, semester 2 and above. Because for conducting SULAM courses, students need not only to use information that they learn from the course that they are currently taking, but also they need basic knowledge that they have gathered throughout their learning process from semester 1 until their current semesters. So normally, SULAM courses, we encourage it not to be the first year course, but second year and above. For the first year, though, it's not that we cannot handle a community engagement project for the course, but it's in lighter terms. It's more on one-time community project with the community, and maybe the assessment percentage is not so much for the fundamental courses, just apply small part of the course content to the community engagement project. So that's my suggestion.
Alright, thank you very much for the answer, Dr. Rafeah. Maybe lepas ni boleh belanja Prof Zainab boleh belanja nasi ayam dekat
Nasi
Dr.
ayam.
Rafeah.
But really, if you want to know more, if you are interested to know more about implementing SULAM and e-SULAM, I really encourage you to attend our webinar next week on the 15th of March.
Okay, some ideas from Dr. Zuria. Yes, she agreed that academicians have to learn, unlearn and relearn. Yes, definitely. All right, so if there is no question, I would like to conclude our workshop for today. We hope that you found the sharing is valuable for you in applying immersive blended learning, specifically SULAM approach, in order to enhance your student learning experience. So before we end our sharing for today, I'm glad to announce that we have next week's sharing session is on Teaching Excellent webinar, Immersive Teaching by Face-to-Face. Thank you very much for your time and for your participation on today's webinar. Thank you, Dr. Rafeah. Thank you to all.
Thank you, Dr. Mazlina, and thank you to all participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you again next time.